All right. Um, so yeah, this is a video about lanky people. And lanky people, when they go to the gym, tend to have some issues that they may run into, or things that they need to figure out that someone with shorter appendages might actually find quite easy to do. So when you see Chinese weightlifters and they're squatting, they're pretty much built like a baby. Not in the sense like they're weak or anything, but like they have quite short femurs, and when they squat, they just sit down easy like a baby would do. So I thought I'd try and make this video just upon my past experience over the past couple of years, training for strength and hypertrophy, and yeah, I thought I'd share a list of some of the exercises that I've been doing and ones that I've found that have worked really well for me, and ones that I may have had to figure out a bit better, and ones that are just completely trash. So essentially, a quick background of me. I've been training with weights and stuff since like 2018. I originally went to the gym and did a bit of hypertrophy training with a personal trainer. I put on like 10 kilograms of weight and it was really good. And then I kind of just got more into like sports specific training because I was mountain biking a lot and skateboarding a lot. Anyway, so enough of that nonsense. I've made a tier list here, and at the top we got the Stewie Griffin tier. Stewie Griffin being super jacked in that episode. Um, that's going to be the top tier of the day. Second, we have the Scott Steiner tier. Scott Steiner, he wears bloody chainmail and shit, so he's pretty cool. You got the SpongeBob leg tier. It's the third tier. And then we got the Big Smoke tier. As you can see, there's Big Smoke with CJ. CJ looking a lot like Big Smoke in that photo, actually. And then we've got the Warm Can of Carling tier. So for the Americans watching this, you probably don't know what Carling is. So Carling in the UK is like the really like low tier, bog standard beer that you can buy just from the supermarkets. I think some pubs do serve it on draft beer, as like on the tap. But yeah, especially when it's warm. If you're from the UK and you've been to like a festival before, and you have a warm can of Carling, it's probably one of the worst experiences. I'd probably be just better off drinking water. Anyway, right, enough of that. We'll kick into it. So first, got Mr. Alberto Numes here. So recently, I've actually been doing a calf raise that he put up on his Instagram recently, and it's been bloody good. So pretty much it's just a bodyweight calf raise, and you go quite deep, but like it's like a 4 second eccentric, so 4 second negative, and it's like a slight pause at the bottom, and you just do that as many times as you can on the single leg. And for me personally, it's been really good because I've had Achilles issues in the past from a non-training related accident. Pretty much just an overuse injury, that because I used to skateboard a lot back in the day, and yeah, I got an overuse injury from there. So it's been pretty cool because I've actually been able to load it quite easily without it actually hurting my Achilles, and it's actually kind of like a rehab movement, but it also makes me incredibly sore. Like I was sore for like 2 days after I tried it last time. So I reckon, I'm gonna put it in the Scott Steiner tier. It's very close second to the Stewie Griffin. It is a pretty good movement, so yeah. Anyway, right, we have the Bulgarian split squat. So I think the Bulgarian split squat is a really cool movement. It does require quite a bit of adjustment since if you have long legs, you have to kind of try and figure out where to put your leg in front to actually still target your quads, so it's not just completely a glute movement. But it definitely builds a bit of resilience because like you've got to push hard, man. And if you do like 15 reps of the Bulgarian split squat, you got to be puffing, man. So I reckon it's definitely a good movement to learn how to push hard. So I'm gonna put that in. I'm probably gonna put it in the SpongeBob tier because it's not something I would do often. There's other movements that I'd probably rather do towards the end of my session. I have heard of people maybe doing it earlier on in the session when you're a bit fresher, but I kind of like it a bit later on in the session. Oh, next we got the Eric Helms, the RDL. So recently I actually started doing the barbell RDL over the stiff-legged deadlift, which we'll talk about a bit later on. And my hamstrings have been on fire, man. And like the way they do it, like at the 3D MGA guys, they're kind of like, there's a tutorial on Instagram how you kind of find the position of how you angle your torso and your hips to the point where it's your hamstrings that have been only activated, and like before your lower back starts to take over, and that as a tall person is quite hard to try and figure out. So I'm definitely going to put this in Stu Griffin tier because it's fucking sick. Excuse my language. Alright, what's this one next? Yeah, we got the slant board. The slant board. Yeah, so I bought a slant board when I was just before I started training for like hypertrophy and strength. When I find some Paris's programs that I was running, I was into quite a bit into the I took the knees over toes bit a bit, and I was doing that quite a bit with some hybrid training. I was running quite a lot, and then I was in a caloric deficit. But that's another topic for another time I can talk about. But yeah, I find the slant board is pretty good. It's quite a steep angle on it, and like if you have long femurs, like it kind of teaches you to be a bit more upright, but with the caveat of that you'd not be able to lift a lot of weight because your knees are so far over your toes that it's just like completely a quad dominant movement. And I was doing it quite a lot before, just trying to learn how to squat a bit better. So I did build up some of my quad sizes, so it's pretty cool. I would recommend, if you do have a slant board in your gym, to use it as a variation to your standard high bar squat. So I will put that in SpongeBob tier, I reckon. But yeah, I have seen some guys use the slant boards with the Smith machine actually, so that could also be a good variation. Alright, what we got next? Someone's mum doing the belt squat. So I haven't had a lot of experience with the belt squat. I did use it on a work trip in a gym that was just near the location where I was staying at, and I actually found it a really good movement. Like, it completely takes you back out of the equation, which is a good and a bad thing depending on how you're training and how your program's set up. But I found when I was doing it, all I could feel was my quads, and that's probably a good thing for me anyway. So, because for high bar squats, I do find it quite difficult. I'm going to put that in. Probably put it in the SpongeBob tier. Just mainly because I haven't a lot of experience using it. So, right, next we have the standard high bar squat. Right, this might rustle a few feathers with this one, because tall people are like, there's no point in squatting if you're tall because it's kind of hard and like it takes so long and like. Nah, I reckon everyone, if you're tall, should learn how to squat for your, just pretty much for how your body is really, and your anthropometry. Because like, I recommend doing tempo squats, is what I found out recently. Just trying to feel, you just feel your quads and your legs, man. I kind of try to feel like contract my legs as I'm like squatting down quite slowly, and then try and resist the urge to like good morning the weight up when you go back up. Because I had a problem for ages when I was just doing generic squats where like all I could feel was like my glutes and my lower back, because I was pretty much just hinging. It was kind of like I was almost bastardizing the high bar squat into a low bar squat essentially, just because of how I'm built. So once I actually integrated the tempo squats, and I just kind of feel like if you learn how to do a high bar squat, man, or like any kind of like barbell squat, it just teaches you how to push more. Like, you just build so much resilience like using it, and like you just like, damn, like you get onto like a leg press, and even though the leg press can be quite hard when you're doing like heaps of reps and stuff, but like you just have that drive to be able to push way harder. So I'm gonna put it in the Stewie Griffin tier. It's definitely something you need to spend time learning, but like as like a complete beginner, I'd probably try and fit some volume in with other things like machines at first. So yeah, just have a play around with it on your let's say your off days, but like if you say you're doing like a 4-day split, yeah, and you got your upper, your lower, and then your upper lower on the rest of the week, maybe on the last lower day, just have a play around with barbell squats, try to get used to them. It's definitely worth it in the long run. Alright, next I'm going to do Nordic curls. So yeah, as I say, I've bit the knees over toe guy thing a bit, just before I started properly getting into it a couple of years ago again. And yeah, Nordic curls are hard, man. Like they're super cool and like they look fucking sick, but like at the same time, it's just set up. Like if you don't have like a Nordic curl bench in your gym, then you can use like the lat pull down and like clamp your feet down and then like put a band on you and then kind of like bounce off a ball. I'll try and find a video and probably post it up if anyone wants to know that. Just tell me in the comments. But same with the calf raise machine. I saw Eric Bugenhagen. He recently put one up. But yeah, since they are cool, but like they're just really hard to progress in, especially if you're getting heavier in body weight as well. Like I don't know, man. Just use the hamstring curl machine. I reckon. I'll do some RDLs. But like if you do have a Nordic bench at your gym, it's probably worth having to play around with them. But since they're a bit, I'm gonna put them in the big smoke. Just mainly because it's just such a pain in the ass to set up, and I can't be asked to like just spend half my gym session these days trying to set up something where I can do a Nordic curl in it. Time is money, you know, as they say. Right, next thing I'll say, if you have long legs, it's in the long run, it's probably worth investing in some actual decent squat shoes. I got some pretty good ones on sale on the Adidas website during the Boxing Day sales, and they were like half price, and they were like super expensive shoes, so I was pretty stoked when I got them. Yeah, and they will just keep you upright on every leg movement that you do, and since you're tall, you're probably going to hinge a bit more than the average Joe that has the old short femurs, shorter legs, so it's worth investing in them. But as you say, if there's a slant board in your gym, you could just use that, or as a lot of people do, they put plates under their heels, but the last thing I want to be thinking about is fucking sliding around on some plates and stuff. So yeah, get some squat shoes, man. I'm going to put them in the Stewie Griffin because I love them. I pretty much wear them on every leg movement, and you don't have to spend like ages doing the bloody squat university mobility stuff, like unless you actually are like a athlete and you have mobility issues due to tight hips from sitting down on a bicycle all the time, or you're running a lot. Then, but if you're just a general dude just trying to put on some muscle in the gym, you don't have to do all that stuff, man. Like keep that energy and put it into the movements. Just warm up doing the squat. Or like on cold days I'll like cycle backwards on a what are they called, assault bike, just to warm my knees up, and that feels a lot better actually. So yeah, go for that. Right, next we have the ATG split squat. So I used to think these were kind of cool when I first got into training again, and I was doing them a lot because you see the knees over toe guy do them all the time, and I thought they looked cool, but like at the same time it just ends up being like an acrobat circus trick you can do really, and like it's so hard to load, and it's just like, dude, just do a Bulgarian split squat instead, or use some machines if you want bigger legs. So sorry mate, I'm gonna have to put you in the what I'm kind of calling to you. Alright, so briefly touched upon this before. Stiff-legged deadlifts. So I was doing them the way that RP prescribes on their channel, or describes on their channel, and it was good because I was doing a lot of deadlifting, and I was like, man, I'm kind of over deadlifting. I've been doing it for ages. As much as I love deadlifting, I just kind of wanted to break from it, and I'm going to just focus a bit more on hypertrophy work. And I was doing the Dr. Mike ones, and man, my lower back got really strong from doing them, because as much as they still blast your hamstrings, but like at the same time, like your lower back gets pretty fatigued off them. So just in the way that they describe their form, I guess Dr. Mike and Jared Fever and stuff, they're quite shorter dudes. So for a taller person, if you're trying to get away from deadlifting for a bit, I probably would recommend them. But if you just really want to focus on growing your hamstrings a bit better, or getting strong hamstrings, do those RDLs, man. And if you want the tutorial for that RDL, just put it down in the comments, and I'll send you the Instagram link to the video I watched on it. So yeah, I'm gonna put this probably in probably the Scott Steiner tier, right? Right, next, you might as well work into that. The conventional deadlift. Ooh, but people are going to be like, oh, but you know, deadlifting, it's like so tiring and stimulus fatigue ratio. Well, if you're a beginner and you're a tall dude, you're probably going to be quite good at deadliftings and hinges anyway. So you might as well just go for it, man. Like I probably think like the deadlift itself has probably contributed so much to like my overall back size. It's been insane. Like I actually have like spinal erectors now. I never used to. So I know erect is a funny word, but yeah, we'll try not to giggle too much at that, boys. We got the Eddie Hall for this one. Yeah, everyone's seen the Eddie Hall where he's just bleeding out of his face and stuff. You know, it's pretty gnarly, but it's actually really cool. So I'd probably recommend watching that video. I'm gonna put sorry guys, but it's gone on the Stewie Griffin tier. It has to be. Like, I feel like everyone should learn how to deadlift, man. Like, if you learn how to deadlift, like, you can do pretty much every hinge, really. You can figure out every hinge. And, like, as a tall person, like, you should be doing your hinges anyway because, like, the amount of tall people that you meet that have lower back issues is, like, insane. Like, once you're of, like, the age of 25, it's like, oh, I hurt my back, you know, playing football or something. It's like, bro, go do some deadlifts. Get a strong back. You should be able to just hinge over and pick things off the floor. You shouldn't have to like squat down and pick things up off the floor when you're tall. Just bend over, round that back. It's not a problem. Right, next one I'm going to put up is the leg press. Right, okay. So the way I do the leg press is I do it the way that Dr. Mike goes on about it. So you put your feet quite low on the platform and you just kind of just go ass to grass with it. And like as a tall person, like that's good because it completely takes out your torso out of the equation and you can like smash your legs without you good morning and when you're doing like a squat. So you might as well just do leg presses. It's like just a no-brainer. And it's just so easy to set up. Just go deep. Make sure your calf touches your hamstring. And also a recommendation is the way he explains it is put a pad. I just roll up like a couple of yoga mats, put them on my lower back, so my lower back has something to brace against as I'm going quite deep. But yeah, I could try and put a video up of me doing a leg press. If you want to see that, just write in the comments. I'll put it up. So if everyone's seen Blood and Guts, Dorian Yates doing the leg press. That's the image of the day, I reckon, for the leg press. For me, I'm going to put it in the Stewie Griffin. I know other people be like, well, why don't you just do squats properly? Like, yeah, you know, fill that volume with fans. There's no problem. Like, if you want bigger legs, just do some leg presses as well, alongside your barbell movements. We're not powerlifters at the end of the day. Unless you're a powerlifter watching this, then, just, yeah, you know what to do. Do more barbell stuff. Right. Oh, yes. Right, this is such a game changer for me, actually. Snotty nose. Is the way GVS uses the Smith machine to do squats. It's kind of like you put your feet forward and turn the Smith machine into a hack squat machine. I don't have a hack squat on the machine in the gym, so I haven't put hack squat in this tier list because I've never really actually used one. But when I do these squats on the Smith machine, and like you put your feet forward and all you feel is your quads, and you can just keep super straight up and down as if you like were a short femored person almost. And man, my legs just get so sore off that. It's insane. Like I recommend if you have long legs to figure out how to like squat with the feet forward on the Smith machine. And when I actually got Olympic weightlifting shoes, it just made the movement even better. You just have to resist trying to hinge a bit, but like you will end up hinging a little bit towards the end of your set because you're gonna be pushing hard, man. Like that's what the last couple of reps before we're being a bit sloppy anyway. You can always just clean them up next week. So right, so GVS hack squat. I do them slightly different to him, but yeah, if you watch the video, it definitely helps a lot. I'm gonna put that in the Stewie Griffin tier for sure. Alright, this is gonna be a weird one. Tib raises. I don't know if anyone knows what a tibialis raise is, but this is another one I got. I was doing it quite a bit when I was running, and I actually still do them. But I don't bother strapping a weight to my foot to do them because that's another thing that just takes a lot of time in the gym. I just do a mechanical drop set at the end of one of my leg days, and I just kind of put my feet forward out, do the tib raises, then bring them back a bit more, do the tib raises, bring them back more, do the tib raises. And it's almost like a finisher. I know a lot of people say finishers are kind of dumb, but like you still get a little bit of tib work in. And then if I do ever want to try and do something a bit more athletic, I've got the tibs, man. So I'm probably going to put them in the big smoke tier because you're probably not going to really need to do them unless you want to do them. You could superset them with your calf work if you want as well. You just sit against the wall and bring. It's a lot harder than you think it is. Like, try it out, and you get big ass shins. Cool. Next one. Oh, we got the cool Tom Platz photo here. If I'm using the leg extension, screaming his nut off because he's an absolute psycho. If you ever watch the Tom Platz videos, it's bloody cool, man. He pushes crazy hard, but like, I guess steroids and that recovery, and you can just go for it. And he's built for squatting, man. Like, I feel like Tom Platz should have been like a competitive cyclist or something, like one of those track sprinters, because man, he's just like built completely different, the quad father. Leg extensions, yeah. So I do leg extensions quite a bit now. I do them at the end of pretty much my leg day or one of my lower body days, and yeah, they're just good to just burn out the quads. And when you're tired and stuff, you can still push because you're not have to be using loads like stabilizers and stuff, and you can just get that extra volume in that you need. And yeah, even just doing single leg ones is a variation. And you can even try what I've been doing recently is you lower back the seat quite far back and you kind of lie against it, and obviously you set the foot, I don't know what it's called, the footrest, like where you actually do the thing, set it quite far back, and then you get like quite a big stretch on your quads. And I think some of the science nerds, they go on about the rectus femoris, which is like the middle part of your quad that gets hit way more, and you're actually way stronger at it, and you can actually push a lot more load on the machine itself. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna put the Tom Platz leg extension special in the SpongeBob tier because why not? I feel like you should be doing your compounds a bit more, but like, why not get extra quad volume if you can? It's pretty much there for the taking. So you got single leg RDLs. So I have experimented a bit with these, but like, I don't know why this dude's got two in front. That's just like a balancing exercise. You can just hold on to something, man. If you're doing split squats and you're not bothered about the whole stabilizer thing. Maybe if you're an athlete that isn't just trying to get big, like a runner or a mountain biker or something, then maybe doing the stabilization, being unstable when you're doing it, and try using your core and stuff is probably a good thing. But if you're just a Johnny bodybuilder, then you probably can just hold on to something while you do it. I don't mind them. They kind of feel a bit weird. They're really awkward because when you're tall and lanky, you're kind of like flailing all over the place like you're trying to fly away. But I have seen people do the split stance ones. I haven't experimented with them yet, but I might try give them a go. But yeah, it's not too bad. But I'm probably just going to put in the big smoke tier because for the general way, like a standard way people do them, it's kind of more like a balancing exercise almost. If you're a skateboarder or something, it's probably good. It's a good thing to get in your program for sure. Next we've got foot elevated Smith machine split squats. These are actually pretty good. Like, I did these when I actually hurt my lower back because my form was terrible when I was first squatting. And I did these instead of the squat for a bit, and man, they destroyed my legs. Obviously you have to do both sides, but that's what comes with a unilateral movement. But yeah, I'd give these a shot if you've got tall legs, and it'll also probably teach you how to use your quads as the main driver a bit more as well. So I'm gonna put these in the probably in the SpongeBob. No, we'll put them in the Scott Steiner. Yeah, they're good. It's a good movement, man. Try them. All right, cool. Sissy squats. Sissy squats are kind of like, I do enjoy them, but like I have had a bit of knee pain from doing them in the past, but mainly because I always try and go a bit too deep because my ego gets the better of me. You end up looking like Michael Jackson a bit, but I find the last time I did them, I try to not go as deep, but I try and just keep the tension on the quads till a point where you can kind of just feel it, where you're like, that's probably enough, and then you just go from there. It's a good movement. Like, if I do lots of leg extensions, because we only have one leg extension machine, and I don't know, sometimes I'm on the mood to do split squats, and I'll just program in leg extensions, and and then I say you do sissy squats. I know I've seen Milo Wolf do those ones where you just kneel on the ground and do them, but I've never tried those. But I'd probably give sissy squats a go. Just make sure you hold on to something when you do them, and just take your time lowering down on the eccentric part of the movement, because the last thing you want to do is blow your knee out. So I'm probably gonna put them in. Probably put them in the big smoke. People be like, no, but it's so good for hypertrophy. But like, man, it's just like you got a leg extension machine. Just use it like at the same time as well. Right, what else we got? Front squats. So I know there's been a big thing about front squat debate a while back, where people are like, well, it's just gonna tire your back out and stuff, and there's no point doing it. Like when you're a beginner, you don't have to worry about things like that, man. Like, and as a tall person, it's really good because you learn how to squat up, straight up and down a bit better. Your form actually improves a lot from doing it. Jeez, my voice broke like a teenager. And then you will get pretty much a stronger upper back from doing them as a beginner. It's kind of like how deadlifts kind of like rip your back up. Same with front squats, man. If you get that isometric strength in your upper back, it's going to blow you up a bit, I reckon. So if you're a noob or even a tall person, which this video is pretty much about, I'd recommend doing front squats at least for 12 weeks. Just doing it for 12 weeks instead of the high bar, and your quads will be on fire. I've never tried them with my Olympic weightlifting shoes, so I was considering putting them back in actually at some point since I've got the shoes now, and it might make a slight difference. But even with just standard bare feet or whatever, you'll still feel your quads heaps when you do it. So I'm gonna put front squats in the Stewie Griffin, man. I'm gonna be controversial today. Like, why not? That's why we're here. Seat hamstring curls. It's a no-brainer, man. Like, we only have one hamstring curl machine in my gym, so I've never actually used a lying one. I know all the science bros and stuff, they go, well, the seated hamstring curl has more hypertrophy and blah, 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 blah. But like, at the same time, it's a really good machine. You can change your tempos on it, you can change your rep ranges on it. Never tried to do single leg on it though. It seems kind of awkward. As a variation, I actually did the whole leaning forward. So you lean at your hips. Eric Helms describes it quite well how you do it. So because a lot of people just kind of arch the back, but it's not really the right way to do it. If you lean a bit forward, put some more pre-stretch on your hamstrings. So I actually did hamstring standard curls for ages, and I kind of plateaued on them. And then I was like, all right, cool, I'll try this leaning forward thing as a variation. And I actually burst through the plateau on the hamstring curl and got stronger. It could have been probably because I was doing a lot of RDLs as well, but yeah, I'd see hamstring curls a no-brainer, man. Just put it in the Stewie Griffin tier for sure. Right. So we've got quite a few calf ones to go still. Yeah. So the leg press calf raise. I guess I don't really like this movement since I've got long legs. Like my leg press machine in the gym, like it kind of, even there's two leg press machines. It's like the standard like one where you kind of sit and just push like that, and then the one where you're kind of like lying down and pushing it up. I think it's called like a 45-degree leg press, which is the one I mainly use because I can get deeper on it. But you kind of have to, like, if you got long legs, you kind of have to push it up. You kind of have to leg press it up, then start doing the calf raises, and it's kind of a bit awkward. Then you have to like lower it down on your tippy toes. And it's like, it's kind of dangerous. I don't know, I kind of hurt my Achilles again doing them, so I've got a bit of a vendetta against them. So if you got long legs, I probably wouldn't bother trying the leg press ones, unless your leg press machine has good setting stop pins at the top, where it's kind of built a bit more for people with long legs. But the Matrix one we use is, it's not amazing for it. So if you got short legs, probably really good, but I'm going to put it in the warm can of calling, yeah. Right, the Smith machine calf raise. So this one is a pretty good one if you're really new to calf raise training. I'd give this one a crack for a bit, but once like you start loading like more than 100 kilograms on your back and you're doing like reps of 20 on the calf raise, Smith machine calf raise, it kind of feels a bit weird in your spine and stuff. So I'm not like a massive super fan of it, so I'm going to put it in the big smoke tier. Just mainly because of that reason. Like, you won't probably not have to worry about it at first because your calves probably aren't that strong enough. So yeah. Put that there. Single leg calf raise with a dumbbell. It's probably one of my favorite ones actually, and it's also kind of like a slight grip exercise towards the end of the session. I'm going to probably put that in the Scott Steiner. I'd give that one a go. Dumbbell RDLs. I don't like them as much as barbell RDLs because they're kind of just a bit awkward because you have to like pick them out the rack and then get them away from the rack because people are wanting to get weights and stuff, and then you probably have to use straps at a certain point, but then people are like, why don't you just use your grip? Well, you're trying to train your hamstrings, so whatever. Yeah, it's a variation. If you've been doing barbell RDLs or stiff-legged deadlifts for quite some time, I would probably give them a go. I'm gonna probably just put them in the SpongeBob tier there. We got the standard splits. Oh no, sorry, these aren't split squats. These are lunges. So I actually have a love and hate relationship with lunges. I think they're great for the end of the session when you're just like completely like just knackered and you just I've got to do lunges, but like like if you do them you'll feel so much better after them, and you just go for it. You just lunge the living daylights out of that way. Like it is a bit awkward in the fact like every time you do the step you have to be really like on top of it, like where you put your feet, because like it can kind of like almost turn into a different like quad or like glute emphasis. But if you don't overthink it, just go for it. And I'd say if you're a beginner, do them at the end. It'll teach you how to learn some grip, man. So yeah. One thing I have missed out on this though is the seated calf raise machine. I don't know why I haven't put the seated calf raise machine on here. But yes, seated calf raise machine would probably go in the Stewie Griffin tier. I know people are like, well, you still train the soleus if you do the other calf raises, but mate, you're sitting down and you can just load it up. So like, I've had like so many gains, just like so much gain just using the seated calf raise machine. So anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you liked it. Some controversial ones there. Yeah, give them a go if you've got long ass femurs and you got long legs, whether you're either like over 6 foot or you're just generally a lanky person, if you're like 5'11" or whatever, just give it a crack. Like, and if you're a beginner, that's a good list to start from. Like as I say, I've only been training for hypertrophy and strength for the past couple of years. Before that, I was doing more like hybridy, like training for skateboarding, mountain biking, so I was quite lean and slim, mainly just doing more like core and like kettlebell and all that kind of stuff, Well, yeah, if you're training for strength and hypertrophy, give them a crack. Or if you just go in the gym, just fill out a bit, give them a go, man. And yeah, put a comment down if you don't agree with any of the stuff that I've said, or if you've got your own opinion. I'm keen to discuss some stuff anyway. And yeah, if you need any like videos of any of the stuff, give me a shout and I can send you some good tutorials over from things that I've watched on YouTube and stuff. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll probably do some more of these because it was quite fun. First time trying to do this, so I don't know. Let's see how we go. Have a great day wherever you are. So catch you later.